Welcome to Leo for Leos. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings for the astrological sign of Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm a Leo as well, so that's why the channel is called Leo for Leos. Cross watchers and fellow readers are welcome. However, I do want to give you a heads up that I read the cards as I see them and not always the way it's traditionally done. So let's get started. We have the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, the Centennial Edition. Alright, so this reading is for June 2020. June 2020. Leos, wow. Do you want to consider this? Yes, it fell this way. We almost had a catastrophe. I'm choosing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so okay, so June, there's a bit of planning that either you end off May with or you start in the beginning of June. You're planning something pretty big. Let's look a little bit deeper into the plan that's happening. This what I like about this card in the Two of Wands is that you're hopeful and you're definitely looking at the more hopeful qualities in life. You're definitely feeling like there's a chance for you to do something great. So I love seeing that card because it's always, you know, a hopeful card. However, there's a bit of crying over the past. And it could be the recent past, some things that have happened that you're just kind of having a hard time getting over, trying to make sense out of it. And some things you just, you never want to repeat again in life, is what I'm hearing. Like, I don't want to go through that again. And there's a sense of loss, like a loss of opportunity, a loss of relationships, some loneliness, that kind of feeling. If you notice, these two cards are facing the same way. They kind of have similar stances. One has their head up and the other one has their head down. So I think that's a very interesting companion to have there. And the thing that's really cool about this whole thing is that you do have some assets. You do have some assets that are represented with these two cups behind you. You're not looking at them, but and you may know that they're there. But you do have something going for you. You may not be aware of what that something is. Or you may be well aware of what that thing that is, but you're focusing and you're choosing to focus on things that didn't work out. Surprises that changed everything for negatively. The Empress. Okay, with the planning that you have going on, you are birthing something new. You are birthing a new idea, a new way of life, a new thought process, a new... something is very new about what you're planning. And it's something you've never done before. It's like, okay, well, all those other things that I tried in the past haven't worked. Why don't we try this? What do I have to lose? Yeah, there's an emphasis on the past and remembering the past and lamenting over the past, and it has a very strong hold over Leos. Very strong hold over Leos. And it's influencing the path that you're taking. It's influencing your motivation. It's almost like someone who has gone through a war, or someone like a veteran, or someone who has gone through a rough time and trying to process it in the context of the world that they live in, and still trying to come out on top. Not easy, but absolutely achievable. Yeah, the past is so strong. Events that have happened, whether it's the past of years and years gone by, or it's the past of something more recent. It's definitely something about the past, not something necessarily current. But you're definitely leaning towards the reminiscing of some past events, past repeated events that you're like, okay, well, I'm done with that, and I'm ready to start something new. All right, let's get one more to finish that off. Yeah. You're ready to leave something that you've devoted a lot of time to and effort to, and walk away and create something new, or do something new. Just start off fresh. And for a lot of people, this is a relationship that's ending. You're like, I'm not going through that anymore. I'm better off alone. And for some people, it's like, I'm done with being alone. I need to do something about it and be with people. It's that. It could go either way, but it's like stopping an activity and embracing a new idea, and birthing a new psychological state, birthing a new way of life. Let's move on to the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is really talking about, in this case, a focus on the career, like money, career, and lifestyle. It's also a good card to see in a reading because it's usually saying that you're on the right path to what you're going for. And going back to this previous set here, it could be walking off a job or choosing a new career. It could be one of those things. But Leos are ready for a brand new change. They're ready to birth a new change. The Moon. Oh, this card has been coming up a lot. It's secrets. There's stuff you don't know. Somebody's got... It may be someone in your close vicinity, or it could be something a lot broader. But there are things that will be revealed in time. You know, hopefully we'll get the Sun card this month, because April, May has been the 2 months of secrets. There's stuff that we don't know. And we're ready to act and we're ready to move, but we can't because of these darn secrets we don't know. The unknown. That has a big part to play here. Interesting. We have the Star card, which is about hopes and dreams. So together, you're on the right path. There are secrets you don't know. And they heavily involve your hopes and dreams. So you have to wait until those secrets are revealed. But the fact that this is showing up is just that it has a very powerful pull on your decision making and everything that you want to do and will be doing. Oh wow, we've got the Hermit. And the Hermit is really about, I mean, you're going inward even more. I mean, just when I see the Hermit, it's really talking about like going inwards. This could be about like meditating or adopting a new form of meditation, of going inward. It may even be seeing a therapist or talking to someone on a hotline. But if you notice, there are stars in the Star card, right? And then the Hermit is holding up, I don't know, I'll get a little closer on here, but the Hermit is holding up a star in his lantern. So it has to do with your hopes and dreams. There may be some illumination on your hopes and dreams by going inward. By going inward. They may become clearer to you. Then you might find some clarity. And King of Cups is definitely telling me that this is emotional. This is highly emotional. Very sensitive place that there may be some exercising of some ideas, just kind of dealing with underlying emotional strings that you are always feeling like you're triggered by. Okay, these are not obvious. You may not even think that it's something that you need to worry about, but when it comes to sensitivity to things and being triggered by something, it always feels like it's like a blindsided punch to the face, right? A sucker punch, okay? And this is kind of dealing with that. It's kind of dealing with, like, how can I be even stronger than I already am? And, when these triggers show up, I'm impervious to them. It's about becoming stronger and building a stronger psychology to deal with problems. I mean, yeah, I mean, the King of Cups, he's in the middle of the ocean here, and he's floating on some rough waters, but he's still stoic, so it's in the middle of, like, feeling all these emotions and sensitivities to things, but at the same time still have the composure that you need, and that to represent yourself in the world, and to continue to, like, make strong, smart decisions, even if you're emotionally triggered by something. You making the right decisions under pressure. So you're training yourself to do that psychologically. I love that. And going inward is a beautiful place to go. Recalling past events and making peace with them, that kind of thing. Look at this. Ace of Swords. Again, this is going to do something very powerful to your mindset. Your mindset is becoming that of a warrior for the ages. It is becoming like an incredible superhero. It's building and it's growing stronger. I'm very inspired by this. It's really becoming a force to be reckoned with. Like, nothing will break down this psychological system that you're creating, this mindset that you're creating. Again, and I use the term, you're getting tougher psychologically. Because yes, triggers are always going to be in front of us. We're always going to have something that triggers us, either in a positive way or in a negative way. And how we react is so important. And you're mastering how to react. It's a mindset change. You're changing your mindset. And it's beautiful. Like, you're doing it good. You're doing it good. Now let's move on to the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is really talking about relationships here again. Okay. It's talking about an effort to try to share ideas with someone. It's give and take. It's give and take. Relationships. Let's see what it really is dealing with or talking about here with to do with relationships. Ooh, another 2 card. 2 of Swords. Making a decision and really not knowing what the outcome will be. But you want to make the right decision. There's an emphasis in doing the right thing. And whatever decision there will be of this is one that you may feel as if you're, it may make you feel a little bad about it. Let's see why. Because, oh, you're going with your intuition. Your intuition is guiding you through decisions. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. So you may feel bad that you have to make those decisions, but you just don't know what, you know, you're essentially making a guess. If you notice, the 2 of Swords is a person who is blind. She cannot see. And yet she has 2 dangerous weapons in her hands. And then we get the High Priestess, who is really about saying, hey, look, we don't know what's going on, but we've got to go with our gut instincts here. What are your experiences and your wisdom telling you from inside you? And there's a lot of, again, high emotions going on. So June feels like you're making some decisions that are highly emotional, and they are tough, like tough decisions. Tough decisions. Okay, very tough. Tough decisions to make, but you've thought about it, and it's decisions that I think you don't have a choice but to make. If you want to live, if you want to continue to move on to the future, if you want the best for yourself and the people you care about. I mean, yeah. We're going to move on to the Devil, which is really talking about the things that tie us to the things that we do. It's like the purpose for, and it's not always, but it can stand for many reasons, this card. But in this case, it is the reason why you do the things that you do. Because you feel like you have to. And let's talk about that area. Let's find out where, in particular, a little bit more particulars about it. Okay, so this is really talking about a fear of being desolated. There's a fear of that happening. And that keeps you doing, you know, repeating your actions, or keeps you locked into something that you rather not do. Tell me more about this. I would like to know more. Interesting. It's about sharing or making announcements, things like that. pyramids in this card and this card as well. Reaching far and wide. Winning arguments. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what this is all saying. When this happens, I have to do this. Okay. So there's a lot of fear here. Okay, there's a lot of fear that's going on about this happening. And perhaps this has happened in the past, or this has happened recently, but there's a devastation in which you are desperately trying to avoid. And it may be that this is happening right now and you're trying to get away from that. And something's about like wanting to talk to other people, wanting to wanting to announce something, wanting to make your intentions clear, and also desperately wanting to go somewhere far away, to leave the situation, and go somewhere else. Conquer some other lands, conquer some other avenue, whether it's in business or whether it's in love and romance, relationships. There is an exploratory aspect to it. You're desiring to go out there and meet new people and do new things. And this is about really winning battles, and maybe having to never see some people ever again. Like, to just win over your situation. This is not the typical win at all cost card that I always, kind of associate this card with. But in this case, it's winning the battle. And yes, when you win the battle, you may never see some people again. You may be saying goodbye to them for good. Some relationships may die, may never be rekindled again. And opportunities may be around the corner. You may be looking for them. They may be coming. You're desiring to meet up with these opportunities because ultimately your desire is to help the people that need it, to be a person who is an upstanding citizen that helps your community. You're looking to be more of a hero than a villain, and you're looking to, it's part of the change that you want to go through. And then we have the beautiful Queen of Pentacles that is really talking about nurturing ideas and nurturing mindsets and nurturing the things that you're trying to grow. And what Leos are going deep in June. They're really trying to change everything, and they may lose some people. They may say goodbye to some people for good. It's not part of their new mindset. It's not part of, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because it's always hurts to say goodbye. It always hurts to say goodbye. Even when you're saying goodbye to something that is not good for you. Sometimes there are tears of not just joy, but tears of being released from the bonds that hold you. In actuality, you have a lot more strength and power than you even know. And it all has to do with mindset and figuring that out. Figuring that out. Because even if I tell you right now, or someone else tells you what you should be doing, it's completely it's in your court. It's in your court. Okay? Now let's move on to the Three of Pentacles. Okay? The Three of Pentacles is talking about being in a space where you're comfortable with your artistry and your creativity. In June, Leos are trying to figure out how to, and we've been working on it in May, and we've been working on it a little bit in April, but mostly in May, just trying to figure out a formula to this whole thing, like what's gonna work for the next like 6-7 months. We don't know what's going to happen, but what can we do to make this work? And the Leos are saying we want to get a nice groove going with work and the things we enjoy doing, the things we are creative with. We want to, to set some parameters in order to work happily. And then we have this card, which is about sowing the seeds of your career. It's career or business. It's like putting the seeds in the ground in order to create the wealth that you want. And you're waiting for that to happen. And you may have switched up ideas, and at this point you're not frustrated with waiting. You know that you have to wait. You know that you have to wait because you've just planted the seeds, the real seeds. That you have other seeds that you've planted, but this particular bush is one that you've just planted, and now you have to wait to see the results. And here's the clarity. There's clarity. Finally, we get some clarity because, with all of the secrets and the things that we don't know and the mystery of life, it's really tough to maneuver when you don't know things. And knowing, getting a little bit more clarity, like, hey, things are, I'm not sure what the clarity will be, but the clarity will give you an elation of, like, it will give you that thumbs up. It will give you that green light to go. This is the green light to go. It's the illumination that you needed. Okay, we're going to move on to the Two of Pentacles, which really signifies juggling two ideas and focusing now on one. Okay, so I see someone who has two wonderful ideas or two things that they're working on, and they've decided that they're going to start focusing on one of them because you only have one. You can only focus on one thing at a time. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I can multitask, but this particular thing just says that you're going to be focusing on the one thing. Unbelievably, I just picked the Tower card, and the Tower card is upside down, and I don't read reverses, but it showed up, so I have to read it. So the Tower card reverse is really talking about the change, the big changes and the big surprises in life, the things that are really like pressing down on you, the period in time for that may be over, and that we're gonna really feel, and this may be globally and this may be personal, you're going to feel like you've hit your groove, like this is the new normal from now on. Everybody's saying that this is the new normal for like March and April and May, but for Leos, we're going to be like, oh, so this is the new normal, and we're going to it's going to be a rough time at it. It's not going to be that great, but we've been doing the psychological prep here, the psychological prep that can deal with this. Okay, without this prep, it's going to be hard for you to recognize it and deal with it. So the change is already set. That is going to be happening for lots of the Leos, their lifestyle. And now it's about finding out how to maneuver in that world, in this new world that is occurring here. Oh, look at this. All right, and this is talking about, it's in relation to this, really like affirming it, that Leos are moving on to something better. This is not saying that you want to, this is saying that you are. You are moving on to something better. Okay, you're taking everything that you love with you to this new place. Which, I mean, it could be physically moving. It could be physically getting your stuff and going somewhere else. It could also be like physically moving from ideas, physically moving from old mindsets, old thought practices, and moving on to a newer, brighter future. There's a lot of hope in this. Oh my God, so much hope in June. Even with, you know, possibly saying goodbye to things for good, there's a lot of hope in all of this. Lots of hope. So interesting to get the Tower card upside down. I usually never get that, but we get this. And this is a feeling of being trapped. That there is still a trapped feeling inside, like you still feel like you're in a fishbowl. You're not out of the fishbowl. But in that fishbowl, the Leo can find some really good ideas, really good epiphanies from being in this uncomfortable state. You will be receiving, I know people sometimes laugh at this, but I call them downloads from the heavenly bodies, just giving you ideas and allowing your mind, even at rest, to see like opportunities that you may not be aware of, and see ideas that you may have never thought of before. Thinking differently. Thinking completely differently. Is a complete mind shift. Okay? We're talking about a mental growth that that occurs here in June. I'm loving it. I'm all for mental growth, because look, you can have as strong a body as you want to, but the mind has to be the most strongest. Has to be the most strongest. Nothing can touch you with a strong mind. Then we go to the King of Wands, okay? And that's the masculine energy of the Leo. And it's a doer. It's getting things done. So in your way, however you can, Leos are trying to get things done. It may be like calling upon people to do things for you. It may be like outsourcing some stuff that you really need outsourcing, and maybe pulling together a team of experts to do something. But Leos are masterfully trying to get things done. It may involve other people helping, people who are who are experts, or people who know what they're doing, professionals. We have the Queen of Swords, which is making important decisions. You're making important decisions, but they're not just decisions out of nowhere. You're not like the Two of Swords where you're blind to them. This is in broad daylight. You're very clear on the things that you need to do, and you're doing it with grace. You're making graceful decisions. They're not harsh at all. They don't hurt other people. They're important decisions. But you're trying to do it with you're trying to do it within the parameters of what you can do. And you're helping along that change. There's a sense of wanting to rush into what you're doing. Like, hey, look, no, we have the green light to go. There's clarity. Now I know what I'm facing, and now I know what's going on. Let's move forward. Let's see if that's a good idea. Leos are doing things masterfully, independently. They're doing it. Yeah, they're definitely making their own way. Making their own way. They're taking what they have and they're bouncing. They're like, okay, well, I've got what I need. I gotta see you later. Taking what you have and saying goodbye to, the losses. Cut your losses. But also, keeping in mind the Wheel of Fortune is really talking about timing. It's kind of blessing your activity. There's been a lot of stalling, okay? There was stalling in May. There was stalling in April. Wanting to do stuff, can't do it. June is saying you can do some things in June. You can do some things in June. And it comes from a place of wanting to serve yourself. And it's all in line with this whole mental shift that you're doing. I mean, you need to make that mental shift so you can be stronger mentally. It's your choice, and you're making the choice to just be mentally stronger. Now let's move on to the judgment, which is about surrendering to the situation in a way. Leos are able to fight and able to do the small things that can make a big difference in their life. But there's also a surrender to what you don't know and higher powers. You're allowing the angels to do what they do best. I mean, you've prayed for a brighter day. You've prayed for the thumbs up. You've and the green light. You've prayed for so much, and now there's some more prayers that you would love to have answered, and you're just waiting for them to occur, and you're surrendering to when it will happen. Look, the Magician praying and manifesting. praying and manifesting. So you're depending on, or this is what this is saying. You are trusting more deeply into the, you're trusting God more. You're trusting the angels. You're trusting the universe. You put the energy into your dreams and your hopes, and you're like, I'm going to leave it in your hands. I mean, you're still doing what you can do to make those things happen. You are still like, you want that great body, you're still exercising. If you want that great relationship, you're still like trying to find that great relationship and be aware of that. But you're going to leave it in the hands of the higher power, and you trust that it will come about, and that you shouldn't obsess about it. Sometimes people can obsess about the things that aren't working out, and that stops them from enjoying life, or even being able to deal with the things that are happening around them. Lovers. This is about harmony. Again, we have the angel here. You're praying for a harmony, maybe in relationships, in life, living, everything. Just being able to have harmony in life. And the heartbreak. Okay, there is heartbreak. You're still lamenting over what happened up here. You're still lamenting over losing friends and losing some people that you may have to you may have to say goodbye to. You're lamenting over past situations. You're lamenting over this. Ooh, but we've got the Queen of Wands here. And the Queen of Wands is very competent. It is the sign of Leos, ultimately. A feminine sign of Leos. Very gentle. She's a doer. She does things. She gets things done. And the beauty of it is that even with all of with the heartbreak that's present, she's very stoic, very much like ready for the future. And having this flower in her hand is signifying that she's choosing to be happy. So Leos are choosing to be happy in the middle of all the things that they're going through. And there's no mistake why these two regal ladies are right next to each other. There's a lot of mental nurturing going on. And notice this guy is right here. Because it's all working towards building a stronger self-identity. And like I said before, if you have a strong mind, it'll help you get through just about anything. There's a way to build up the muscle of the mind. And it takes time. It takes time. So let's do some angel answers. See what the angel's answers has to say about the reading for today? Is there a message that Leos need to take away for the month of June? The final word. Look for a sign. Ooh. All right. Taking a picture of it right now. And there we have the picture. Look for a sign. Okay. Your angels have a very special and specific answer to your question. You can expect to see signs right away that will have deep meaning to you. Many people see white feathers to indicate that their angels are with them. Or they may smell scents from their childhood that they connect with a family member. Signs require focused attention, so be awake to the possibilities. And don't mistake synchronistic events for mere coincidences at this time. They are a message specifically designed for you. So you heard that, Leo. You've got to look out for little signs that are going to be guiding you along your way. So that is my reading for the month of June 2020. Thank you so very much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so for Leo Intuitive Tarot readings. Be sure to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when my next video gets posted. Many blessings to you, my awesome Leos! And remember, this channel is for you and for you alone.